Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hope all of you had a great weekend. Hope all of you are having a great Sunday night. If not, hope this video can make it a little bit better. And man, oh man, if you're a Florida State cinnamon roll fan, you might want to click off of this video because we got some bad, and I mean really bad news to talk about and get into. We're not doing no intro, none of that. I don't got time to waste. You don't got time to waste either. Do want to throw this in there. We're on the road to 400,000 subscribers. And as you can see right here, we are less than 15,000 subscribers away. So if you're new to the channel and you like college football content, or hey, maybe you've been watching and you're someone not subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button right beside our profile name. It'll help us get a little bit closer to our goal, and we'd love for you to be a part of our amazing community. It's been another great season on the channel, so I do want to express my gratitude to all the current subscribers. Major shout out to all of you. Let's get straight into this football stuff, though. You do not have to be the greatest college football analyst of all time to come to the executive decision that the Florida State football team has been too good this year. They started the year out on a bang. It was better than anybody even anticipated. They didn't just beat Alabama, they dominated them from start to finish. They won by double digits, 31-17. It was a fantastic showing on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Everybody was like, man, this Florida State team, they're back. They're going to be making the playoffs. They're a top 10 team. And then, that's all it's been ever since the Bama game. Terrible, to say the least. Awful. Back to 2024 Florida State. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They have straight up sucked this entire season. And currently, as when I'm speaking, making this video, they are sitting at an abysmal and the worst conference in the entire Power Four. It's not even close. 5-6. 5-6. Coming off a double-digit loss to NC State, who's not very good themselves either. This now means Florida State has to win their next game against the atrocious Florida Gators if they want to make a bowl game. We'll talk more about that in just a second. But who did they beat this year? They beat Alabama. They beat East Texas A&M. They beat Kent State, and after that, they had a long skid. Lost to Virginia, lost to Miami, lost to Pitt, lost to Stanford, had a 4-game losing streak until finally beating Wake Forest, lost to Clemson by 14 points, lost to NC State recently, and there you go. 5-6. And with all the firings in college football, a lot of people have been anticipating, when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about Florida State fans, Norvell. He's going to get fired soon, right? They want him gone. I haven't seen any Florida State fan actually advocating for Mike Norvell to keep his job. They want him to be fired, and they're actually kind of irritated he hasn't been fired yet. Because look at the leash he has gotten. This guy has had losing season after losing season after losing season, whereas guys like James Franklin, for example, at Penn State, he's winning 10 games per year, and he got fired. Hugh Freeze got fired. Brian Kelly got fired. Who's the other guy? Oh, yeah, Billy Napier got fired. The list goes on and on and on. Sam Pittman got fired at Arkansas. The point is, there's been so many firings in college football, yet Mike Norvell is still keeping his job. I mean, what are we doing? What are we talking about? Why does he still have a job? Well, guess what, my friends? We got some big-time breaking news. Florida State, I'm reading this off word for word, will retain Mike Norvell, sources told ESPN. Let me read you off the On3 report. Breaking, Mike Norvell will return as Florida State's head coach in 2026, per Cloud Football or CeeLo, whatever you want to call them, and Pete Nakos. Those are two of our very reliable sources on the channel. Yeah, there you have it. Read it and weep, chumps. Read it and weep. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Mike Norvell, is returning. This is great news. This is great news. Oh, you thought I meant for Florida State? No. For the rest of college football. If you have Florida State on your schedule in 2026, you should be grinning from ear to ear. You can mark in a free win almost at this point. I don't want to say I feel bad for Florida State fans, but I'm starting to. It's getting to that point. This is awful. It's to the point where I'm just like, but why? Why would he return next year? What can you point at? What has he done up until this point on his resume at Florida State where you can go, okay, well, this is why we're going to give him another year? Nothing at all. The only thing you can point to in the past couple of years is, oh, well, they beat Alabama. But I don't think that's enough for you to retain your job, because look at how the entire season has gone. And it's not even like he's just having a bad year this year. You see, with Penn State and James Franklin, why that one's somewhat controversial is because this was the first bad year. When I say bad, I mean really bad year that Penn State has had. I know James Franklin, he was struggling to win the big-time game, or not even struggling. He never won the big-time game, but he wasn't having bad seasons. Mike Norvell, this isn't the first quote-unquote bad year he's had. He's had 4 bad years, 5 bad years. He's had, look at this, oh my gosh, don't even get me started. Look at what he did last year. What, they win 2 games? Are we serious? My brother in Christ, 2 games, and then this year, they may not even make a bowl game? We're talking about Florida State. This is easily a top 15 job in all the nation. Easily. Florida State. Is this acceptable? Is this the new normal? Is this the standard? 5 wins? Last year they won 2? How many losing seasons? I think he's... Okay, so if they don't beat Florida, even if they beat Florida and lose in the bowl game, that's going to be 4 losing seasons in 6 years. Let that sink in. And by telling the fan base, hey, he's going to be returning as the head coach, you were intrinsically telling them, hey, this is okay. This is the new standard by default. There's certain subjects we talk about on this channel where we can argue and debate, but I don't think there's anything to argue and debate here. This is one of those things where I'm just genuinely confused. I don't know why you would even allow this to happen. Before I go any farther, maybe we'll get some clarity. Let me read you off what Florida State had to say about this, word for word. Florida State University announced that Mike Norvell is being retained as head football coach with support from FSU leadership. Norvell has pledged to institute fundamental changes in specific areas to improve performance to meet FSU's championship standard. Oh, yeah. You see, that's funny. Mike Norvell and championship standard in the same sentence. LOL. Are you kidding me? Get out of here. 4 losing seasons in 6 years. 4! I digress, continuing along here, quote unquote. FSU Board of Trustees Chairman Peter Collins, Vice President and Director of Athletics Michael Alford, and I are in complete agreement that changes are needed to our program to improve, said Dr. Richard McCullough, FSU President. Coach Norvell embraces our support in that process and agrees that success must be achieved. He continues to demonstrate an unwavering belief in this program's future. Oh, guys, an unwavering belief. We're using big words now, and so do we. This decision reflects a unified commitment to competing in the rapidly evolving landscape of college football while maintaining continuity within the program. This program has been built on belief, sacrifice, and putting the team first, Norvell said. That set of values has always guided my actions and those of our players. The driving motivation behind this is to make certain that we are doing everything properly to obtain and retain elite players, add critical pieces, and sustain long-term success. I love Florida State, and I am fully committed to this program and our shared goals. In addition to addressing the reality that the on-field results have been far from acceptable to the FSU standard, we also realize our responsibilities as stewards of program revenues and how to best allocate those dollars to compete at an elite level. Something we will not compromise, said Collins. These deficiencies may include structural changes to the very large and complex program FSU football has become, and these areas are where we will focus and invest. Our responsibility is to do what gives Florida State the strongest competitive position, not just today, but for years to come, said Alford. Florida State has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in its football program over the past few years with high expectations, Chairman Collins. President McCullough and I are aligned in partnering with Coach and improving our ability to compete for championships. Our mission is unwavering in putting Florida State football at the forefront of college athletics. I know that was a lot, but I feel like it is highly important to our situation because they are explaining not only, yes, we are retaining Mike Norvell, but why they're doing so. Here's my 2 cents on that. I understand what they're saying. They believe in Mike Norvell. I just disagree with it. I strongly disagree with it. I don't. 4 losing seasons about to be, assuming they lose a bowl game or lose to Florida State in 6 years. You won 2 games last year. This year, you had the talent. You had the weapons. 5 wins up until this point, 5 and 6 in the worst conference in America when it comes to Power 4. If you got to ask me, it's just unacceptable at Florida State. I'm not saying you got to be competing for championships there, but good googly moogly, you at least got to be winning regularly. 7 to 8 games. Mike Norvell hasn't even done that the past couple of years. And we all know what this is stemming from. He had the one decent undefeated season. But even at that, you did it in the ACC. The ACC's garbage. And I say undefeated. Let me go back on that. Undefeated regular season. You got millywhopped. Let me say again, millywhopped by the Georgia Bulldogs by 60 points. I think it's highly disrespectful to Florida State fans. And if I was a fan of Florida State, I would not be happy about this. But maybe some fans out there are. Maybe they are. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens next year. But here's my next question. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, for the sake of this video, Norvell goes 7-5 next year. Well, how do you justify firing him after that season? Because you just saw him barely win 6 games this year. Saw him win a couple of games only 2 years ago, and you didn't fire him after that. What is the standard there at Florida State? I have no idea, and I don't even think they know either. But here's what I do know. They got themselves in a hot mess, and it's not going to get fixed or resolved anytime soon. If you think Mike Norvell is turning this football team around, this program around, you have no idea what you're talking about. He had one fluky season, cried about not making the playoffs, and then laid an egg against Georgia, who was also, by the way, upset about not being in the playoffs. They had a great argument for getting in as well. This is a joke, if you gotta ask me, an absolute joke. Many more things I could say when it off here. I'm curious. Let me know your thoughts down below, but